Should you sell on Etsy in 2024? If you have a shop already, should you continue to sell there? If you don't have a shop yet, is it worth starting a shop on Etsy in 2024? If you're trying to make this decision, let's have a look today at some of the positives, some of the reasons why you may want to sell on Etsy in 2024. Before we do that, we'll quickly have a look at a few of the negatives. Now, my name's Jess. I've been selling on Etsy since 2008. The platform has changed so much since then in so many different ways, a lot of which are not for the good, especially for people like me who sell genuine handmade products. And a lot of people have left the platform over the years for many reasons. Things like when they went public, the amount of resellers on the platform, the fact that the platform is no longer handmade, it's just about being a designer now. Nothing wrong with that, but it's certainly not the home of handmade specifically anymore. Though to be fair, it always sold vintage and supplies as well. Now there's a glut of print on demand and digital download type of products, which can make it hard to compete if you are a genuine handmade seller, that you are actually making every single product by hand yourself. Yes, they have fees, but so does any platform that you sell on, and I have other videos about that sort of thing. It can be hard to contact support when you have a problem. There are lots of reasons why you might not want to sell on the platform, but let's now look at the reasons why it might be the right fit for you. Frankly, it is still the place I tell my students to start. If they've never sold online before and they want to set up a simple, affordable shop, then Etsy really is still to this day the simplest and most cost-effective place to set up a shop online. In fact, you can set up a shop and have it up and running for less than $1, and I have a video that I've done about that. I will set it up here. Despite the fact that it is a bit diluted these days, it still is really the only place you can go that is ostensibly the world's handmade marketplace. Yes, there's Amazon Handmade. Yes, there are other smaller platforms, but there really isn't any other platform that has the brand and name recognition that Etsy does have when people think, I want to buy something handmade. Etsy is generally still the place they think to go to do that. And that means if you're not on the platform, you can't take advantage of the buyers that they have gathered. The fact is, Etsy currently has over 92 million active buyers, and they're working really, really hard to bring buyers to the platform and also reactivate buyers that haven't bought for a while. So by being on the platform, you do take advantage of all of the work Etsy is doing to bring new people to the platform. If you're curious about more stats about Etsy, I strongly recommend you check out the shareholders report. This is publicly available and you can check it out each quarter. I'll put a link to the most recent one in the description below, and you can actually look at their active buyers, their financial situation, and all of the trends over time. Now, trending over time, Etsy is doing okay at the moment. You know, the economy has been really tough this year. Anyone who has a small business will tell you that business is down, generally speaking, across the board for most people, especially those of us who make discretionary items, things people really don't need. So they are taking the money and keeping it for things like groceries and the mortgage. So it's been a tough year this year, and it's probably going to stay that way for a while. But Etsy's numbers are staying relatively strong considering this. And they've been doing a lot of things recently in order to try to drive sales on the platform. They've been offering vouchers that Etsy's actually paid for to get people shopping on the platform, and numerous other things to try to activate buyers. So if you do sell handmade, it is a smart place to be, despite the problems that the platform may have. And let's be honest, no platform is perfect. So it is also, of course, a very easy platform to set up on. It's very simple and straightforward to set up a shop. They guide you through the process step by step. If you want more help with that, I do have a free Etsy Quick Start guide, which is a detailed checklist that will take you through a whole bunch of stuff that they don't guide you through, but that is still really, really important when it comes to setting up a successful Etsy shop. I'll leave a link to that free download in the description below. So make sure to grab a copy of that if you are thinking about setting up on Etsy, or you set up a shop but you're not quite sure if you've done it right. This checklist will help you with that. So compared to a lot of other places, like if you're setting up on your own website or Shopify, it's a lot more complicated. There's a lot more sort of things that you can change and that means more decisions you have to make and more things you have to learn. Etsy is very straightforward. You upload, you give them your financial information, you upload a banner, you upload a profile picture and a logo, and you upload your products. It's pretty straightforward. They handle all the payment processing and all of taxes in certain circumstances. Not if you're in Australia, you still have to deal with the GST yourself, unfortunately. But if you're in like the States, they deal with state taxes and collecting them on your behalf, and all of these sorts of things. Such as, site security as well. Stuff that you've probably never thought of if you've never had your own website before, but then you have to think of and pay for when you run your own website. Etsy makes it easy because you don't have to worry about any of that stuff. Etsy is also an excellent training ground if you are getting started selling online for the first time, because in order to compete on Etsy, you have to have a really high level of quality to your products and your photos, your descriptions, your keywords. So it's a really great place to learn all of this stuff and to get your head around how to do SEO, search engine optimization, how to take good product photos. One thing I see a lot of people say is, oh, there's so much competition on Etsy. And there is, absolutely 100%, heaps of competition on Etsy. But what I don't see people saying or seeming to realize is that if you sell on your own website, you're competing with the entire world. You're competing with every single other website that exists out there that sells what you're selling or stuff like you're selling, and you're not as visible because you don't have the power of being on a big platform like Etsy to help you to show up in Google search results or any other search engine results. Something that a lot of people will probably find if they have an Etsy shop and their own website is sometimes their Etsy shop will show higher in search results than their own website will, even when searching for the name of their business, because Etsy has more power with the search engines because it's such a bigger website. So yes, there's a lot of competition on Etsy, but there's a lot of competition no matter where you're going to be selling, and you have to be seen, and it's a lot easier to be seen in a smaller pool of the shops on Etsy than it is to be seen on a search engine of the entire world. Another positive of selling on Etsy is that you automatically have a sense of trust around your business. Someone who buys on Etsy knows that they have Etsy behind them. If something goes wrong, if you are a bad seller and you're a scammer or something, they don't know this, right? Then they know that they can turn to Etsy and say, hey, this person hasn't done the right thing, they haven't supplied the product XYZ. There's some accountability there, and so people feel more confident buying on a big website like Etsy than they probably would buying from your small little standalone website if they don't know who you are. So there's that trust factor that you get immediately through selling on a platform like Etsy, which may make people more likely to purchase from you. In fact, I have customers who purchase from me on Etsy, and they keep coming back and purchasing on Etsy for no other reason that they already have an account there. So it's easier for them because they don't have to put in all their details. They can just go buy and click, and they've got all that stuff there already. So again, you're reducing the friction and making it easier for people to purchase from you. Another positive thing about Etsy is the transparent feedback, the review system that's right there on the page, on your shop, and underneath every product now as well. When somebody looks at your product, they will see reviews for your shop and for that product. So again, it's that trust factor. It makes it really easy for people to see that you're doing a good job or not doing a good job, rather than, again, going to your website where there might not be any visible reviews at all anywhere. And so they have no idea whether your business is legit or whether you do a good job or not. Therefore, despite the problems that Etsy might have as a platform, I still think at this stage it is a worthwhile option for people. It is a good beginner option, especially for those of you who are starting your handmade businesses for the first time, for many reasons. And until something better comes along, Etsy is what we've got. This is especially true for those of you who don't have your own audiences or don't want to do the work to build your own audience. It's a lot of work, and it takes a long time to build your own audience of fans who love your work and that you have enough of to actually keep you in business. You have to have a big platform on a social media like Instagram or YouTube or TikTok in order to drive those sales yourself. You have to know a lot about search engine optimization. You probably have to be blogging regularly on your website in order to drive traffic there, or you can set up a shop on Etsy, and Etsy itself can bring you traffic. Now, obviously, in a perfect world, you want to be doing a combination of these things, setting up on Etsy, driving your own traffic. And Etsy's actually just released something in the last month or two, which is quite nice. And that is, if you drive traffic to your Etsy shop, they actually reduce your fees. So that's another way they're trying to encourage you to actually drive traffic to your own Etsy shop and to the platform in general. And I'm not sad about it. If you want more help growing your Etsy shop, I have a whole playlist of tons of videos all about this topic. I will leave that right here for you so you can go watch them now. Remember to subscribe if you haven't already and give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye for now.